You are listening to the Willpower Podcast. Welcome to the show. I am Will Holdren, and I talk with some of the most influential CEOs, entrepreneurial leaders, and thought leaders to try and reveal the secrets that has led to their success. I believe that with the right knowledge and mindset, you can do anything you set your mind to. So if you want to learn how to change your life for the better, if you want to learn how millionaires actually became wealthy, or if you want to develop and start your own business from the ground up with the right knowledge to help you, then you are in the right place because this is the Willpower Podcast.
Nowhere that we go is a one-way street. Nothing that we love is a one-day key. And if we gon' do it, we gon' do this now. And if we say we gon' hold this down. Nowhere that we...
How's it going, everyone? My name is Will Holdren, and I am the host of the Willpower Podcast. Today we have a very special guest, and her name is Dr. Carla Leejay. And Dr. Carla is actually a part-time eXp realtor, and she is based out of the Texas area. So it's an absolute honor to have her on here today. So Dr. Carla, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. Hi, Will. Excited to be here. Of
course. I'm really looking forward to this interview. I love talking with realtors and kind of figuring out why they chose real estate and kind of how they got to where they are today. So this will be a fun interview. So to kind of start off, I kind of want to go into your childhood a little bit. So can you kind of talk about what your childhood was like and how it helped turn you into who you are today?
Yeah, so I actually grew up in Shreveport, Louisiana, a small town. I actually went to a private school, a Catholic private school for my middle school years, and went to a magnet high school. And growing up, I have three other sisters. My mom was a single mom for a while, and then she married my dad, and grew up in a really great family. We are very family oriented. Have a lot of great family members. We're huge. I'm talking about like 80 plus members, if not more than that. And so everyone in my family is just very family oriented. We've always been hard workers. And just growing up, I had that work ethic already instilled with me from watching my mom work multiple jobs. And she also went to college for multiple years. And just seeing her, educated and working hard is what grew me up as a real estate agent and actually being someone that valued education.
Gotcha. That's amazing. And so growing up, did you always want to go into real estate? Or did you have other aspirations?
No, I had other aspirations. I wanted to be a big time news anchor with big hair and just, I wanted to be on the news. Radio broadcasting and news editing was actually my college degrees. I actually majored in journalism and actually majored in mass comm with an emphasis in news broadcasting and radio. I actually did radio for a couple years, and I actually did newspaper writing for a couple years. So that was my track. And then all of a sudden someone said, hey, you should be a teacher. And I was like, what? And I became a math teacher here in Dallas, Texas, and got into real estate. I actually had a realtor that was doing really good in real estate. His name was Trenton Johnson. He's also in Dallas, Texas as well. And he was my realtor at the time. And he was like, hey, you should really do real estate. And I'm like, why do you think that? And he's like, you love people, you love talking, like this is the biz for you. And I actually got into it because of him.
Wow. That is very crazy. And it's so amazing to me because a lot of people I have on my podcast are always like teachers or in restaurant industry. Somehow they were like dealing with other people, trying to like talking with them, learning their personalities. And that's just like your story as well, which is super cool to see.
Yeah. That's me.
I also love the transitions in your story. So you had a comm major, and then you go into teaching math, and then you just make that transition into real estate because someone said you'd be good at it.
Exactly. And, the crazy thing about it, Will, after I finished my doctorate in education, I actually went back and got an MBA. Okay. So I actually have 5 degrees. So I'm like a nerd, in the education world.
How long were you in school for?
Lots of years. I finished school I started at 18, finished at 34. Yeah. And then again, I'm 40 and I went back when I was 39 to work on the MBA. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I guess it worked out in the long run. So
it did. I've had multiple educations and multiple jobs and everything to lead me here.
Yeah. So I know you were talking about before how you're doing real estate part-time. So are you still doing real estate part-time with being a professor at the same time?
Correct. Yeah. So actually, when I first started with real estate, I was actually working as an educational diagnostician. And how that works is that you're basically identifying students for special education services within the education. And I actually worked as a professor for special education classes. So I taught undergrad and grad students for special education classes, those who wanted to be special education teachers. And so during that time, I worked on my real estate license at that time as well. And yeah, I finished and was still doing the professor work and doing real estate at the same time and working my full-time job.
That's crazy. How do you find the time to do all those things at once? Because I know it's a lot of work to become a realtor, it's a lot of work to become a professor. Like it's a lot of work to do all that stuff.
Well, I don't sleep, I don't sleep. I'm also a single mom too of 2 girls, and I do it by myself. And they say that you should not sleep. Okay, basically, if you want the dreams that you want to accomplish, you got to work hard, and you got to work on it when other people are sleeping, and that's what I do.
Wow. Now I'm curious. How many hours of sleep do you get at night?
Maybe 4.
Oh my God.
Maybe 4. I go to bed at 8:30, but my mind is always working. So my computer is in my hand or my phone is in my hand. I'm still searching for my clients. I'm doing a lot of things during, at the nighttime after 8:30 too.
Gotcha.
So
I love that. Is super cool too. And that's like the entrepreneurship grind at the same time, where it's like if you want something bad enough, you just got to go out there and do it. And sometimes it means sacrificing a good night's sleep and just, putting more effort into other activities, like just like you're doing right now. So that is super cool. Yeah. And in your opinion, I know a lot of people struggle with time management and, allocating time to certain activities during the day and waking up early, going to bed early, getting that 4 hours sleep or something like that. So what would you recommend for them to be doing to kind of get more of an edge by kind of sleeping less or just learning better time management skills? What would you recommend for them to be doing that?
So I'm going to say, just in the real estate world, you have to get up early. You cannot start your day at 10 o'clock. If you start your day at 10 o'clock, you've missed a lot of phone calls. You've missed a lot of deals. So within real estate, you want to make sure that you're waking up early and you're doing the MLS, searching for your clients. You're taking phone calls, doing lead generation. You have to make sure that you're starting at least by 8 a.m. Okay. And then again, after work, if you do work full time like myself, after 5, you want to make sure that you're actually showing houses, contacting clients, doing follow-up, because that's what's going to help you make it in this business. You have to do the follow-up. In my organization, we have something called Breadwinners Organization. We have follow-up Fridays. So making sure on Fridays, you're following up with those clients that you missed during the week. So with time management, you got to make sure that everything that you have is on a calendar, in your planner, on your phone, whatever you use to set your schedule for the day, making sure that that part is organized. Gotcha. And one more thing too, we typically use transaction coordinators that helps us with our transactions, like putting everything in the systems, putting contracts in the systems, contacting, doing cold calling, things like that. That will also help to make sure your business is being profitable as well.
Gotcha. And so how many transaction coordinators do you have on your team right now at EXP?
I actually have one. So one right now. Yes.
Gotcha. Very cool. And so I'm kind of curious, just bouncing off what you just said right there. So what does your daily schedule kind of look like? If you kind of just
my daily schedule looks like, I get up at 5:30, getting the kids ready. We have to drop them off by 7:15 and drop my oldest, she's in high school, by 7:30. Then I'm heading to work, got to be there by 9 o'clock. From 9 to 3:30-ish, I'm working my full-time job, and I have a lunch break between 12 and 1. So I definitely use my lunch break to work on my real estate business as well, because again, we have an uninterrupted time between 12 and 1. So I make sure that during that time, I'm doing something like posting to Instagram, posting to Facebook, creating a reel, a video or something for my TikTok. I'm doing something between that 12 and 1 hour. After I get off work at 3:30, my daughter has been picked up by 5 o'clock, the other one by 6:30. During that time, I'm doing either showing houses, or I am talking to a client about what they want during that time. And then after 6:30, I'm still going to show houses. So I don't show houses after 8 o'clock. So by that time, I'm hopefully at home, winding down, getting dinner ready. By 8:30, we're in the bed. So.
Yes. That's awesome. You really make the most out of your day. You squeeze so much in those little time frames. You got an hour here, I'm doing showings in this hour. Geez, that's not all that time to do that, but that's awesome.
Yeah, you got to keep working in this business.
Yeah, that is super inspiring. And so you mentioned you've been in real estate for roughly about 2 years now. You've done over $1 million in sales, which is very impressive for 2 years.
Thank you.
What are you doing different than most realtors, and how are you able to get $1 million in sales in your first 2 years?
Like I said, I do a lot of lead generation. So I make sure, within EXP Realty, we have something called Property Boost. So if I have a property or a listing, or someone else has a listing, I will post it onto the Property Boost. And typically it's, I think 3 days, $45. I think up to 6 days is $60. Like it's very cost efficient or whatever. And during that time, it sends leads to you through your CRM. Okay. And during that time, you can follow up with them through text message, email to see exactly what do they actually want. Because typically they either want that house or they want a house that's down the street or somewhere in a neighboring city. So you're doing follow up during that time. Also making sure that I am posting my reels. Reels on Instagram are very popular. They will make sure that you have an audience and make sure that you have leads coming to your inbox as well. And I also make sure that I am doing some trainings too. I recently became an EXP mentor. So I mentor other agents as well within EXP that are new agents to the business. And so making sure that I'm learning and training myself so that when it's time for me to train my mentees, they're ready to go as well.
Gotcha. And so you mentioned property boost. I've never heard that before. And I'm in EXP. So,
oh, wow. Look at you. Yeah. KV Core, man. So within KV Core that we have with EXP, you actually can do lead generation through Property Boost. So you go into your KV Core, go under listings, and there's a button there, a drop down that says Property Boost, and you can boost whatever listing that's there. And when you boost it, it automatically goes to Facebook, I believe, Instagram. It goes to all your social media sites. And from there, you get leads directly to KV Core, your CRM within KV Core.
Gotcha. That seems pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Is that the main thing you used to use leads on, or do you buy leads, or is that?
So let me tell you this. I did make the biggest mistake of my life. As a new real estate agent, I did begin buying leads from different, I don't know if I can mention this, but Zillow. I did $400 a month to Zillow leads. And man, it was not worth it. I wasted a lot of money for 6 months. So that was $2,400 that I wasted when I could have been doing reels. When I'm telling you, reels are free through Instagram. It doesn't cost anything. TikTok is free. I've gotten so many leads from TikTok.
Really?
And my reels on Instagram. So as a real estate agent, you really want to create those type of platforms, even YouTube. I have not yet created a YouTube channel, but I have real estate friends that have, and they always get leads from YouTube. So TikTok, Reels, and YouTube are free leads. You don't have to pay for those.
Yeah, that's interesting. But I guess it's all the same, right? You just got to be able to get your message out there and kind of show people what you're doing. So
exactly. Video really works. So they want to see you on the camera. So making sure that you're talking more to your audience and they actually get to see the real you and not a picture is really beneficial to your business.
Yeah, 100%. And so it's so cool to kind of see how much success you've had early on in your career. I mean, you're already like a mentor now for newer agents when like you're kind of a newer agent to like 2 years. And, you know,
exactly.
So that is super cool. So, I mean, obviously when you're mentoring like these newer agents, what's the number one thing that you see of why like most agents don't succeed like into the future?
Work ethic.
Work ethic.
Work ethic. You know, they see HGTV, they see, Tariq, Musa off of Flip and Flop. They see a lot of real estate agents and real estate brokers and also real estate investors making money instantly. And they think that, hey, I'm going to get in and make some money too instantly. It doesn't work that way. You got to work hard. You have to be in front of your clients. You have to do lead generation. You have to post daily. My mom was like, you're always on your phone. You're always on social media. Mom, I have to. It's my business. So most new agents do not succeed because they do not realize you are the brand. You are what will make your business successful. If you do not represent your brand, they will not see you. If you are a secret agent behind the scenes, no one will know that you do real estate. So you have to make sure you're in front of the camera and that you are working hard to build your business and treat it like it's a business because that's what it is.
Yep. Yeah, that is so true. I love what you said about being a secret agent. And there's so many people that are out there that are just scared, like post on Instagram, like that they're an agent and let people know. Like,
so Will, I'm gonna be honest with you. For 6 months after I had my license, I was a secret agent. I didn't post not one thing. I didn't do anything for 6 months. Wow. And so I really didn't start until January, 2021, actually, building my brand, even though I had my license since July 2020. So it was, I was a secret agent. I didn't want anyone to know because I thought that, hey, I work full time. I didn't want my job to know that I was working on real estate. I was very scared to get out there. And I'm telling you, even my job loves the fact that I'm a real estate agent. They're like, hey, can you help me buy a house? Because So using, even if you're a full-time agent, using where you work, to build leads too, actually works too.
Gotcha. And so during those first 6 months when you were kind of a secret agent, like, did you struggle like getting like sales done in the first 6 months, or like?
I did. I didn't make not one sale. I didn't do anything. When I say I didn't do anything, like I didn't do trainings. I didn't do anything for 6 months. Like I said, my mentor at the time, his name is Trent Johnson. He actually kept pushing me. He's like, Carla, hey, what you doing? What's going on? And so, like I said, he was the reason why I got into real estate. And he's the reason why I've done so well in the business, because of the pushing and the motivation. And I also had another mentor within EXP named Daryl Anderson. He's out of Houston, Texas. He was far away, but every single transaction he was a part of, and making sure that I knew the language and knew, the contract forms, knew everything I need to make sure my clients win their offers. So having the mentorship is very important when you're a new agent, and making sure you pick the right sponsor and the right mentor within EXP.
Gotcha. That is super inspiring to see someone like you who, like, for 6 months, like, struggled to get a single sale and just flip the switch, and then a year and a half you do over $1 million in sales. Like, that's inspiring to see.
It is. And you have to be, and I'm going to add one more thing too. You have not, you can't be afraid to work on every single transaction. You have some real estate agents that don't do rentals. They're like, no, I'm not going to do a rental. Your rental clients will turn into buyers a year from now. I have rentals I did when I first began that are now my buyers. So making sure you work on every single transactions, whether it's apartments, rentals, selling homes, residential, all of that. Do every single transaction. Don't just limit yourself as a new agent. 100%. Just because you see your mentor working on $1 million homes does not mean you have to as well.
Right. Yeah, you never know where a lead can come from. So they might know someone you don't know, and that's just the important part about it. Just every person you meet could become a new lead down the road at some point.
Word of mouth.
Exactly, yeah. 100%. So obviously, like, in the last year, the market's been kind of crazy. It's definitely been a seller's market. Houses are going for $1,000 over listing price, which is kind of crazy. So what are you kind of like teaching agents, or what are you doing, and like how do you kind of secure buyer agents, like how you help them secure houses with like how hard this market is, because obviously it's so hard to like get a deal done with how many offers come in. So like, what are you doing to kind of have your offer win that house?
So you have to be realistic with your clients. If your client does not have the cash to put up in this business, in this market, it's not going to be successful for them. So making sure your clients are well versed on what this market is doing and how crazy it is, because right now there's offers being $80,000 over asking price, $50,000 over asking price. And a lot of buyers are waiving the appraisals. And also some of them are waiving the inspections. They're doing everything possible to win these offers. And you got to understand too, a lot of investors are coming with cash, ready to buy it. $300,000 homes, $400,000 homes, $500,000 cash. So making sure they are realistic and understand that me serving as your buyer agent, I will make sure that we have the best offer that we can put forward, but I need to make sure you have cash in the bank, because again, that's how they're winning. When you waive the appraisal, you have to be prepared to pay what it does not appraise for. So if it appraises for $350,000, but the house is listed for $400,000, you have to be ready to pay that $50,000 cash, ready to go. And your loan will not go over that appraisal amount. Does that make sense?
No, yeah.
So making sure you're realistic with your buyers, and making sure they have the cash in the bank and they're ready to go. If they're not ready to go, just wait 6 months until they build the cash to go.
Yeah, I've seen people waiving their inspections and appraisals as well. And it just seems super risky to me, but I guess
it's very risky. It is very risky, because when this market does change and go back to normal, you really don't have any equity, because you basically threw your equity out the window when you went $80,000 over asking. So luckily the market is coming down a bit. I am seeing some clients win offers without going so much over asking. But again, you still have to be prepared in certain markets, in certain cities.
Right. And yes, that can lead to my next question. So do you see the market changing anytime soon? I mean, I know the Fed just raised the interest rates a little bit, but do you see it changing anytime soon?
No, I see the house prices skyrocketing. I see interest rates going up. I do not see it changing within the next 2 years at all. And you have a lot of buyers saying, I'm going to wait. Don't wait. Do not wait. Especially if it's new construction. If it's new construction, you have to jump on it now, because some of these builders are raising the price 10,000 every Monday, every Monday. And so if you don't get in right now, you're going to miss out, and you're going to miss out on this market.
Yep, housing prices are going up faster than gas prices at this point.
I mean, it is crazy.
It's so crazy. So before we run out of time, actually, a couple more questions for you. So kind of like looking at your future, like what are some of your big goals that you hope to get accomplished in like the next couple of years?
So my biggest goal, so I just recently bought a townhouse. I do want to flip it into an Airbnb. So I would love to have Airbnbs in 3 different cities. So I would love to have one in Florida, one in Georgia, and here in Dallas, Texas. So that is my goal over the next couple of years. Also, I want to make sure that I have mentored at least 20 agents over the next couple of years, getting people in this business, because EXP is a great model. And I really want to make sure I share that with people that are currently in real estate or just brand new coming to the business, because EXP is blowing up. Right now we have 76,000 agents. It's amazing. So I want to make sure that I continue as an EXP mentor, and also continue to build my brand, and also continue to crash into the Airbnb model. That's what I want to do.
I love that. And then my next question for you is, do you have like a favorite real estate book or any book in general you would recommend for new realtors or entrepreneurs to read?
Yes, I do actually. Do I have one right here? Hold on just one second. Let me see if I have one right here that I actually do recommend. But anything by Tom Ferry, anything by, Grant Cardone. I love him. And also The Listing Boss, Haas Pratt. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Listing Boss is an amazing book, and it will help you get listings and learn the lingo towards getting listings.
Gotcha.
So those are my top 3 people I say, to follow.
Gotcha. I'll have to check that one out there. I've never heard
Oh, and then one more thing too, Brian Colhane. I am part of his downline, and he's amazing. The trainings are amazing. So anything that Brian Colhane produces will produce for you as well. So
awesome. I love that. All right. And before we hop off, is there anything else that you would like to say? And if people want to reach out to you, how can they find you?
Oh, they can find me on Instagram. So again, I am Keys in Hand Realty Group on Instagram, Facebook, as well as TikTok. And so you can reach out to me. My number is 817-225-8198. And you can reach me there if you are looking for a home.
Awesome. All right, guys, there you have it. Dr. Carla Leejay, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're very welcome.
No way that we go is a one-way street. Nothing that we love is a one-day key. And if we gon' do it, we gon' do this now. And if we say we gon' hold this down. Nothing that we love is a one-day key. And if we gon' do it, we gon' do this now. And if we say we gonna, we gon' hold this down.